Travis, okay, so your harness has been done. 2UZ Non-VVTi. It's basically what, first generation. So you're talking 90, well, anything from 98 all the way to 2002. Okay, so you're basically sharing the same throttle as a 1UZ, still throttle by wire, but your accelerator position sensor is actually on the throttle body rather than on the actual pedal. Okay. Gone through the whole harness. Your harness, as far as I can remember, was in very, very good condition. So there was very few connectors and stuff that had to be replaced. There are some that we have added in. I will go through it all with you. So all of your injector connectors, you've still got your original ones. Nothing wrong with them at all. EFI water temp sensor, whatever connectors have been replaced, you'll see them on your invoice. So you'll have a detailed. Full on detailed of exactly what has been replaced and what hasn't on the harness. Okay. Water temp sensor, so that's EFI water temp sensor. This one is basically for your gauge cluster, single probe. Okay, that comes out of your client plug. Again, like I say, none of these connectors here have been replaced. All of them were in perfect condition. Running down here, you have this branch off, goes to your airflow meter, 5-pin airflow meter connector. Okay. Running around the back here, you have a earth. So you've actually got an earth like this on the back of both cylinder heads. Just make sure that they are connected and it is on a clear connection. If you've painted your heads or something like that, just make sure that the paint has been taken off there and that it's got proper earth. Now, you should really take another earth from one of these other tapped holes, okay? And just put a small, it doesn't have to be a big one, like a 16 gauge from the back of each head to your firewall. Okay, I know it's kind of weird, but Toyota does it. I've seen differences in the way that they run, so just put it on there. There's right-hand O2 sensor, make sure that is connected. We'll come back to all of your ECU stuff in a minute. Okay. Running at the back here, you've got your connectors for your knock sensors and for your starter motor and whatnot. We've just put a bridge in here because our start stand, we don't have a connector on there, so it's just a bridge connector just so that we can trigger the start. Okay, just so that we can give her a test run. This side, I'll come to the back in a minute. This side, pretty much exactly the same thing. All great condition, VSV or EVAP. Okay, so that connector, I'm not sure if it was replaced. I think it was replaced, but if you do use it, great. If you don't use it, great. It's been flashed out of the ECU, meaning it will not give you an error code. But if it is not connected, it will not give you an error code. Okay, but it is still functional. Okay, running around here, you've got your control, your clutch, and your motor power supply, and you've got your throttle position sensor running over here. This is the cable going to your accelerator position sensor. So just keep that in mind. It does run over exactly as it would on a 1UZ VVTi. It's pretty much the same. Cam position sensor in the front here. Make sure that is connected. Runs down. You've got your 3-pin connector for your aircon compressor. Your clutch or your trigger for that you'll find on your client plug. Okay. Running down here goes to your oil pressure switch or your oil pressure sender unit. Small one like this is a switch basically for a light. If you've got the big round one on there, then that'll be for a gauge. Okay, if you want to use a gauge, then and you've got this one, you're gonna have to replace it with the big one, and vice versa. If you're using a light and you've got the big one, you need to go and get the small one. If you need any part numbers like that, just let me know. There's another bridge out here that goes to your crank position sensor. Okay, so these motors do actually have a return, so it's got a fuel pressure regulator built in. We've blocked off our return line because we actually regulate the main pressure going into the motor. But theoretically, or not theoretically, you will end up putting this directly to your pump, and then that tube there will go directly back to your tank. Okay. Coming out the back here, again, you've got another earth. This is the one on the left-hand side. Okay, so these earths are the primary earths for your system. Okay, just make sure that they are properly grounded. 16 gauge coming out of the back here. This is for your power supply for the actual system. Okay, so that just goes directly to your battery positive. Then you got this bridge coming down. It goes to your left-hand O2 sensor, okay? It bridges out. Now, everything else as far as your transmission goes has been removed, okay? Because you're going with a manual setup. So this is in order for you to, I didn't want you to have loose wires on your transmission, okay, for your reverse lights. So basically this is for your reverse lights. So you just hook this up to your reverse light switch on your gearbox, okay? Then you've got a bridge out coming over here. You have this 2-pin connector over here, which we have put on for your output speed sensor for your ECU, because you wanted cruise control. Okay, so the ECU will pick up the cruise control speed through this terminal or through this connector, and then you've got a 3-pin, this one over here, that is for your speed for your gauge cluster. Okay, so basically it's this 3-pin over here. This is the standard Toyota for the vehicle speed. Okay, so that's the 3-pin, and then your output speed sensor is that standard 2-pin over there. Okay, if you need one of these, let me know. We've got them. These ones unfortunately we do not have. Okay, but if you need part numbers or anything like that, just let me know. They're very easily accessible, you know, or you can find them very easily on eBay and whatever. Okay, so yeah, basically cruise control speed sensor, cluster speed sensor, and reverse lights. Okay, right, so coming out of here, going to your firewall piece of harness, you've got a T-junction. This goes down to your fuse block. Okay, inside your fuse block you've got obviously all of your fuses. Okay, so you've got 6 in here because you drive. It's a drive-by-wire system. Okay, so you've got your batch, you've got your drive-by-wire, you've got your sensors, you've got your injectors and coils. You know, you got your ignition and your fuel pump. Okay, so everything is fused in there. You've got an LED in there. That's a engine light, basically. So you've got one in the fuse box. You've also got one on the client plug. This is an earth terminal if you ever need to check any of your fuses. Start relay, you got your fuel control relays, you got your EFI and main relay. Everything is documented in the bottom of your fuse box lid. Okay, I'm going to pop that back on there. Right, then you've got your flange that goes through your firewall. Okay, goes down, goes into your ECU. Okay, and then you have got these connectors over here. Okay, you've got a you've got a 4-pin connector over here. This is for your diagnostics. Okay, so that there is an extension harness that we give to you, and on the end of that you've got your OBD2 connector, so that you can basically, let me just unplug. I've still got this interface in there. This you basically just fit it wherever you like in your dashboard. Okay, very, very simple. 10-pin connector over here. This is for your main engine running and for your gauges and stuff. So you got your ignition, start, fuel. You got your rev counter, temperature gauge. You got your oil light, your charge light. You've got your engine light, and you've got your aircon compressor clutch. This connector over here houses everything that you need for your reverse lights and for your cruise control and your vehicle speed sensor, those connectors that were at the back there. All of the pin-out labeling will be in your client folder. Okay, if you've got any questions there, please do not hesitate to shout. We will guide you through exactly what needs to be done there to get everything up and running. Let me put on the airbox here quickly for you, and we will give her a test run, and we'll do a DTC scan. Okay, I've put on the airbox. Just make sure the airflow meter is facing backward, otherwise it will not pick up the correct readings. Let's give her a start here. It takes a bit of time because it's got to build up fuel pressure. You got any problems, give me a shout, but you should be all good.